Hi everybody, welcome to another Low on Health Rambling, where I kind of go over what I've been doing the past couple of days. Today is of course Tuesday, April 27th, 2010. It's about 4:05 p.m., kind of an afternoonish one. Basically been spending the last couple of days here working on some sort of side PowerPoint project I'm not going to discuss just yet, but I'll probably eventually end up featuring. Other than that, I did a little bit of lunch day with my mom and the family and whatnot, which is kind of cool. And at that dinner, I was like, hey, they keep talking about movies and whatnot and wanting to see the newer movies on DVD and Blu-ray. And then I was like, hey, you know what? You should probably really get Netflix. I've mentioned Netflix before, and I used to use Netflix, and I really do highly recommend it, of course, if you live close to a distribution center. It's a great service. The streaming is great. Getting Blu-ray discs for $12.95 a month is just freaking awesome. I really did enjoy it, and just right now I can't budget it. But I convinced my mom to get it, and we went back to her house and signed up for it. And she actually has a PS3, so I'm like, oh, we can set up the streaming for the PS3 and whatnot. That'd be kind of cool for instant viewing and whatnot. But finding out when you do it through the PS3, you have to get the disc to do it, to do the streaming on the PS3, which is weird because on the 360, which is what I usually used for it, the 360, you just download an app and there you go. But apparently on the PS3, you have to wait to get the disc to load the app into your PS3, which I think is kind of just convoluted and stupid. Which, of course, almost, I hate to say it nowadays, that's what the PS3 kind of is. You constantly have to update it just to do stuff, and that just gets annoying that it doesn't automatically update like the 360. Or that they do updates so frequently, it's just aggravating. And I feel kind of bad because I got the PS3 for my mom for a Blu-ray player. It's one of the cheaper, easy, lower-end models of the PS3. But we set that up, I put some DVDs in her queue and whatnot, and hopefully, the next day or so she'll get that, and I'll set that up. But I always want to recommend the Netflix. It's a really good service. Other than that, I've of course been doing my usual bike riding today. I had to kind of put it off for a day or so just because of the local rain, the huge storm that came through here, which was kind of interesting. I took a power hit. A lot of people took power hits and whatnot, but I didn't want to work in the lawn because it's kind of all wet and icky, and I didn't want to do the bike ride because I don't want to get the bike all wet from puddles. But did my normal bike ride today, and then I went out to dinner with lunch with the family, and now I'm back home. Gonna probably work on that project some more, not gaming too much. I'll be getting to that later. And now I got a couple movies and whatnot I also got to watch. I started Red Cliff. I'll probably mention that later on the next day or so, but Red Cliff, I started that so long kind of viewing. But let's go and get to the actual gaming and whatnot. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's go and start off with the XboxLive.com. Let's see what we got going on here. We got a couple of people playing. It is, kind of afternoonish. And we got people playing, of course, Modern Warfare 2 Deathmatch. Once again, I haven't been playing that recently because of the boosting thing. Darren's playing Sacred, classic RPG I played. You got Musferati doing the Netflix streaming. I mentioned Netflix, and there it is again. Cynthia Sarah is playing Risen, which I talked to her a little bit about Risen, because I played it on the PC and didn't really like it that much, but she says the console port of it is actually pretty good and she's enjoying it. So maybe I'll throw that into my queue and I'll get to that later on. And then you got, of course, Trent playing NHL. And actually, Trent, Darren, and Keyless Dax down there, we were playing ODST yesterday and actually were able to get another fight achievement from it, which was kind of cool, and that was fun playing with everybody. I do want to mention real quick, I forgot to bring it up here. Let me do this real quick. Boom. Another kind of news here got Destruct today, of course, has been reported elsewhere, that there's going to be a Black Wii, yes, pun intended, coming to North America, which apparently has come to the other territories. And actually, I don't have a Wii right now, pun not intended, but interested down the road, if I had to choose between the two, I would probably get the black version, because of course it looks better and it meshes well with all the other console things. Looking at my center now, everything else is kind of color-coded to an extent, and I really wish that my 360 was actually black matted so it would look good. I could get a faceplate for it, but I still see the probably top of the 360 more than the front. But it's kind of cool. Down the road, if you're looking for a Wii, I would definitely recommend that one just because it probably meshes well with most of our entertainment centers. But moving on here in other news, let's go to GameFAQ polls. Have you ever created a level or stage for a video game? I'm going to say yes, I built a full level, but I kept it to myself. I really didn't share it, in which case the majority of people here, I imagine, have kind of played around with level editors. In which case, I've done the Little Big Planet levels. I made one or two there. And actually, RPG Maker, which I'll probably get to when I do my single reviews later on, I actually did a couple of levels or two and whatnot. But I've dabbled with it, and I like kind of creating the stuff. I don't probably go full blown with it, but it's kind of cool just to kind of play around with the tools and see what kind of fun things you can do with the world. Oblivion had really good mods too for you can create worlds. I remember that was kind of cool. The previous GameFAQ poll was basically how long can you go without blinking your eyes, in which case I didn't really vote for that one because I didn't think about it because I wanted to do it on the video. So real quick, I'm going to try to keep my eyes open while blinking, but that could probably go on for too long, so I'm going to say the average 31 to 90 seconds. That's probably how long I could go. I would do it right now, but I don't want it to run way too long and it'd just be kind of aggravating and stupid to look at. Moving on to my Gamefly queue. Basically, still got Halo ODST. They did not ship me near. They did have it up for the 29th, and then they bumped it up to the 27th, which, once again, is today. And they haven't shipped it to me. In which case, they might be doing it, but usually around this time of day, they would have shipped it by now. So I'm kind of very disappointed, and hopefully maybe they'll ship it to me. This has happened once or twice before. Well, I'll have an open slot at my queue. Nier's been on the top of my queue for basically almost 3 weeks now. It's been in my normal queue period for more than 2 months since it's almost been available like these other games. And I'm kind of disappointed that I haven't got it. I imagine it's because Gamefly didn't order enough. But honestly, if I don't show them shipping the next day or so, I might just shoot Gamefly an email saying, hey, just wondering what I can do on my end to make sure I get the new releases, how I can be on the top priority list, or is it just kind of luck and a luck of the draw when it comes down to it? You know, I'm not pissed off. I'm not going to cancel my membership, but this has happened once or twice before, and I kind of just want to know if there's anything I can do to, you know, get these games new, which I kind of want to do, and this is what I use Gamefly for, and I've been kind of itching for a new game, as I mentioned before. Look at this side project I've been doing. It's been kind of keeping me busy. Other than that, let's go on and move on to the game here, which, of course, is Dragon Warrior 7. This is, of course, the classic RPG from Enix, released back in 2001. I think I remember getting this for Christmas for my mom's, believe it or not, in which case it's the classic 2-disc skull case. Of course, it's actually 2 discs for once, which makes sense, and the big instruction booklet. This, of course, I wanted because, hey, it's 7, so it must be a good series, and Dragon Warrior / Quest is a good series. My main issue with it was basically I dealt with the old schoolness of it. I could deal with the battle system. The problem that kind of irked me with this one is you have to find puzzle pieces to explore and further the story, and you have to find like puzzle pieces in pots in a random village that you would randomly have to kind of, not randomly, but if you thoroughly went through each village and broke pots, you would find puzzle pieces and whatnot, and that furthered the story. And I think I actually got the strategy guide for it because it got so convoluted, and once I realized, oh, I have to go back to this village to break this one pot to get this one little pot puzzle piece to further the plot, I was like, screw it, that's too much kind of mundane JRPG, you know, grinding for me to deal with. I'll probably get to Dragon Quest / Warrior 8 later when I get to that, but I didn't actually ever beat this one, even though I have the strategy guide for it. But it was, you know, good. You know, it's just not my cup of tea. It's interesting to note the back of this, which you're not going to be able to see no matter how I zoom this, very dry. Usually nowadays there's crap everywhere on the back of these things, where this one's a nice little kind of paragraph of text, picture, and that's it, which I miss the old schoolness of just the simplicity of everything. But that's really kind of about it. I'm not going to go back and play through, I can tell you that much, but I did enjoy 8, but I'll get to that another time. But other than that, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.